Today on K-Train Garage, an update on the Ompala build and the donor parts we're using. Here is an important part of the plan. This is a 2006 Crown Victoria Police Interceptor. It has 217,000 miles. But there's a couple of very good reasons that I want to use it for this build. The wheelbase is 114 inches, and a 1963 Impala is 119 inches wheelbase, so it's close. And because we're going to modify the rear end anyway, we can mount the Tesla subframe in just the right spot and still have a good suspension rise. Using this frame and front suspension also matches a couple other things. Now, we were going to use a 1996 C4 Corvette front end, but that front track width is 59 inches. The front track width on this Crown Victoria is 63.5. That's important because the Tesla rear end track width is pretty wide at 67. And in addition, because the Corvette is only 96 inches wheelbase, our stock turning capabilities are going to be diminished to like 70%. So this way, before we remove any bump stops or modify any steering, we should have close to complete steering capabilities because the wheelbase is matched, and we're going to use this front end, this cast aluminum front end, which already matches the frame, so we don't have to do any mount modifications, any mount fab. We'll just change how the bumper and sides attach to match the 63, and then do the rear end that we were going to have to do anyway to do the Tesla rear end mount.
Now I found this car for a good deal. And here is the frame. This is a body-on-frame construction car. And it has pretty much no rust. This was a Southern States police car. So this will be a great base.
Picked up the body with jacks, put some wood under there so the body can't settle back onto the frame. So now there's a gap. I picked the body up some. I put some wood under it. We've disconnected the fuel and evap. Disconnected the wheel speed sensors for the rear because they come out of the ass of the seats. And pretty sure that's everything because I got the brake booster, the steering. I disconnected the shift cable and the emergency brake. So now this should just lift off. I got the body off. I did all 14 body mount locations. Fuel lines at the back arch. And shift linkage and brakes, emergency brake. And the body lifted right off. So now I'm gonna get this engine and trans out of here, and then we can transport this to be with the Ompala build and go from there. Now we got the body and the engine off the frame of the Crown Vic. I'm gonna drain the gas from here and work on taking the front clip off the Impala. I want to keep the front clip all together because this way, when I'm figuring out where the body goes on the Crown Vic frame, I can make sure that the front wheels line up. And then it's just change the mounts, make it work, and I don't have to do any modification to the front suspension. We'll just make it match the original wheel opening. I drained the gas and got the gas tank out of there. Now I'm going to take the air reservoir and valve control out. I'm going to try to take it out nice and try to sell it with the frame. I got power supply, paddle control disconnected and marked, pulled it out of the floor, disconnected the different stuff for the air valve control. So now I'll unbolt the tank and take all of the valve control and compressors out together without taking them apart. This airline, the way this brass fitting works, if it's compressed that way, then it'll come out this way. So I can do that and leave all the fittings attached, and because I don't have any fitting on the end of the line, I can get it through the holes where it was run, get it out of the body of the car and not cut anything. The air ride reservoir is removed. It's all marked so I can sell it with the frame, and it will be able to be used by whoever buys it. During the course of doing that, I removed the rear seat so I could get to the controls, and so that I could get and remove the airlines running along the sides of the doors. So now, without the gas tank and the air ride suspension in there, the majority of what else is left in the cabin can stay. So now what I want to figure out is how to pick up the body off the frame so I can scoot the frame in and out while I'm taking some measurements and building a jig, and also be able to reuse that to take the body on and off of the donor Crown Vic frame by myself with minimal hassle. I think I have a way to do that. I'm going to build it and I'm going to try it. This tape is at 12 feet. The cart's holding it for me just under the center I-beam. I have 4 12-foot sections of box steel from a project. So if I cut one so that it goes up into the ceiling, and then I have the 12-footer go across there, then I could pick up the body at the front and rear and it would be balanced, but then the frame can go in and out so I can do all my fitting and fabrication. So I'm going to build those. I'm going to see what that's like. And if I like the way they feel, I'm going to try to lighten up the body some more, and then we're going to pick it up. I'm going to strap these 2x3 boxes together. I'm going to make it strong, so I'm going to make the box steel stand up and have the vertical same way. So I'm going to strap the corners together so that this outside is as close to the car as it has to be, and I will still be able to get over the I-beam. So I'm going to punch this, and then I'll try putting it up there. I got holes in the horizontal and the vertical so I can strap it together so it can't move. So then I'll have this box steel support to pick up the body. The frame can just roll out. I'm working on taking off the rear bumper all in one piece, including its brackets. So when I'm modifying the replacement frame, I can bolt the old bumpers right up to it. So I make sure that I have this mounting face on the rear bumper and similar on the front, so that I can make a jig so that the front bumper, front rad support can mount to the same places, and that will better ensure that the front body assembly will line up. So now we're going to remove all the body mount bolts so I can pick the body up off the frame. Some of these are really on there.
I'm pretty sure I got everything disconnected now so that the body can come up off the frame, and then I could take measurements and do a jig. I took out the intermediate section of the steering column. I removed the brake booster, emergency brake. This car was originally column shift but has a floor shifter in it. I disconnected the floor shifter underneath from the transmission, and all the wires I've pulled back. So now there shouldn't be anything attaching the body to the frame and engine, but I haven't taken apart any more than I need to make this happen. So this way, if I have to take more measurements, I have to put it back on, everything still lines up. So I'm gonna get the body strapped up here and we'll try to pick it up. I got rear and front supports set up. So I'm gonna pick up the frame to get the 3-legged jacks out of there, and that's gonna, the frame's gonna want to collapse because the air ride lines are pulled back, and then the body will be held up by the hoist setup we have, and then I should be able to pull the frame out and start to make a print of the mount points with a reverse jig. Let's give it a try. This will let me see that the frame's going to pull nicely away. I have control of it with the jack, and I can still see under there. And then I'll pick the body up further to make sure that the frame can clear. Look here. So let's go right away. Okay. Look over here, same thing. So I picked up the rear axle just enough to get the frame off the jacks. And then once I got them both down, then the air suspension collapsed. So the air suspension is collapsed the whole way. So now I just need to pick up the body some more. And then the frame should be able to wheel out. Now I can create a jig to copy the mount points for the bumper and the front rad support to the existing body mounts so that I can reproduce those on the Crown Vic frame. Then I'll know those are good, and then work on using as many of the other Crown Vic frame body mount points as I can.